Jose Mourinho. He says, I am here to implement a work culture. That's him talking about what he's bringing to Real Madrid this time around. And Dan Thomas and Alejandro Moreno are in Barcelona right now.
I thought you said we had technical problems, and I'll be honest with you, I'm all right with that.
No, we've got Barcelona and Real Madrid's game coming up this weekend.
Hey, shut up, Burley. Every time I've ever talked to you about a football documentary, it's like, oh, sat in your pants in your basement watching football, you sad man. And there's you on a plane watching Jose Mourinho. Wow. Oh, you have changed.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, this is something, it's a word you'll not know, this word. It's called preparation. We have La Liga, as you well know, and as part of my preparation about how he's going to handle Real Madrid, I was looking back about the fights and stuff. He said something interesting, actually. Well, one of the interesting things he said, and it was a bit hypocritical, he said, I'm not interested in what people think of me. I like my privacy and all that, whilst he sat doing a documentary. But yeah, I thought it was... It's a little insight into what the challenges...
With a big picture of himself over the fireplace.
Yeah, I think he liked that documentary.
Listen, I don't want to go on about the documentary, but it is an insight into... He had some fights when he first went in, when he went into Real Madrid, and it feels, with what we've witnessed in the last year or two, with the power within the dressing room, that could be a similar scenario that he's walking into from however many years ago it was. OK, I'm done.
OK, and we will see. So, Dan, something that I knew, talking about...
Lovely segue, yep.
Talking about preparation, is that you went a day ahead of Ale to Spain.
Which you to go to a pub.
We didn't know why that was, because, you know, you talk about preparation, but then yesterday you were sending me photographs. You're in the swimming pool with one of our old work colleagues. You're having a lot of fun. That didn't quite look like the day ahead preparation that would have been needed or warranted to go ahead of Ale.
So let's talk about what Craig was talking about. Jose Mourinho left, of course, Real Madrid all those years ago with a mutual agreement. I suppose the obvious question is, when we're stood here this time next year, looking ahead to the start of the new season, will Jose Mourinho be in charge of Real Madrid?
Well, he's got a new liver. He'll be around.
Cut his mic, please.
Look, I think this whole Jose Mourinho thing, it's going to be, I believe, in the short term, spectacular success.
Okay.
Short term. Long term, spectacular disaster. I don't think there's middle of the road here for Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho. I don't believe in this whole thing that in which he doesn't want the attention, that he just wants to work with this team, that he doesn't want the media, he doesn't want this, that, or the other. No. You come back to Real Madrid, you're going to have all the attention and you're going to have all the media and all the expectations that come with it. And while I do believe that he's supposed to bring this culture of work to this team, he's also going to have to massage some of these players that have been difficult to deal with. And in the short term, I think these players will listen. Vinny Jr. will listen. Kylian Mbappe will listen. These guys will listen in the short term. But what about when this team maybe goes on a bad run? What about when he starts making changes? What about when one of these guys doesn't get his way? What happens then? That's when we need to see what goes on with Jose Mourinho and Real Madrid.
And let's not forget, that's exactly what happened with Xavi Alonso. He had the best start ever that Real Madrid manager has had, and then it just all went to pieces very, very quickly. Jose Mourinho has more experience to deal with that, but will he be able to get them across the line? Basically, will he be able to deliver a trophy?
Well, and here's the thing. And you deciding that Xavi Alonso was going to walk out the door, you gave the power. You're Florentino Perez, you gave the power to the players. But the players did not respond with that power. Arbeloa was essentially just a figurehead. He was just there, a cardboard figure. And so these guys did not respond. So now you, as Florentino Perez, then you say, okay, well, we gave the power to the players. That didn't work. Now we're going to give the player or the power to Jose Mourinho. Is that going to work? Well, we don't know, because while you're giving the power to Jose Mourinho, you're also extending Vinny Jr.'s contract. So you're scratching his back. You're taking care of him so that he's not complaining about the fact that he's not making the same as Kylian Mbappe or doesn't have the same numbers as Kylian Mbappe. If Kylian Mbappe is getting that, then I should get this. So I think there's a decision to be made here that if indeed you're going to lean on Jose Mourinho, then lean on Jose Mourinho and allow him to coach the team. If he does that and the players respond, and these are big ifs, then Real Madrid should have a good season. I just don't think that in the long term this is going to work.
How's he going to get the best out of Vinny? That seemed to be the predicament that Arbeloa said he's the greatest ever. If anything went wrong, it's my fault. Xavi Alonso obviously dropped him. Is there a medium there, or because of the experience that Mourinho has, can he get a tune out of him long term?
Well, the relationship with Kylian Mbappe on the field is going to be key to the success of Vini Jr. The best of Vini Jr. last season was, and this is not a coincidence, when Kylian Mbappe was missing. And that's when Vini felt like, well, I'm the guy, so lean on me, and I'll be the one to deliver results for us. What you have to figure out is how does that happen with both of them on the field. And I think, and I don't think this is something that you can underestimate. The fact that you've taken care of Vini's contract and now he feels like he is at the same level of Kylian Mbappe, I think makes a difference here. And I think it makes a difference on the field. And them working together make Real Madrid a whole lot better. Are they going to be able to work together? That's a big question that I don't think, not even Jose Mourinho has an answer for that just yet.
Defensively, they looked vulnerable last year. They've looked vulnerable for a while. Have they addressed that, in your opinion? Konate coming in, Dumfries as well?
More importantly, Marco Corella has come in. And I think that, for me, is key, not just in the defending part of the game, but in the attitude part of the game. At times, Real Madrid last season were so soft defensively, and part of that was how soft they were down that left-hand side, and I think Marco Corella addresses that. It also addresses the fact that Marco Corella can get up and down the left-hand side, which then forces Vini Jr. to go and play more in a central position with Kylian Mbappe and go and combine. And if indeed Vini Jr. stays on the left-hand side, Marco Corella can also work the inside channel. I think the presence of Marco Corella is going to make a big difference for this team down the left-hand side and the back line.
Now, we're in Barcelona because Barcelona are going to play on Sunday in Alicante, but Espanyol are playing Real Madrid on the Saturday, and they're in Barcelona, so that's why we're here for that game, which you can see live across the ESPN networks. And then, as we mentioned, 24 hours late, we're not going back to them yet. Don't cut the
nobody
camera.
cares. Nobody cares why you're in Barcelona.
So, no, shut up.
Why did you? Why did you
I'm
say?
Just explaining it because then 24.
Why did you say? Did Arvalo Arbeloa actually say that? I don't know if you misspoke. Did he say that Vinicius Junior was the greatest ever?
Yes, continuously. He continuously said lovely things about Vinny to try and butter him up to get the best out of him, but it didn't work. Anyway, Ali, don't let him in again. Barcelona playing 24 hours later. They don't have anyone to score goals today at the moment. That's a problem.
That is cutting-edge analysis, Dan, and I appreciated that you brought that to the conversation. Yeah, and it doesn't... I think it was in yesterday's show in which they had a whole list of some of the candidates for Barcelona, and I'm thinking, yeah, they're probably better off with whatever they have in the team right now. Thing is that you've played your cards with this whole Julian Alvarez situation, and it doesn't seem like that's going to work out. And so how do you go about addressing the absence of all the goals that have left the club with Robert Lewandowski and Ferran Torres? Again, big question for Barcelona. It feels like it's going to be by committee, that they're going to be playing somebody in that position that actually doesn't feel all that comfortable playing in that position, or it's not their best position. I don't know that that's how you go about winning big things. If you're Barcelona, I think you do need the presence of a striker. But right now, Julian Alvarez is not happening, and so I don't think it should be surprising that it feels like poor planning on Barcelona's part.
Who wins La Liga?
I'm still going to give it to Barcelona because they're the defending champions, and it is a big question as to what Jose Mourinho and this experiment is going to look like at Real Madrid. The gap between Barcelona and Real Madrid last year was significant in all sorts of, and in level of play, in productivity, defensively, everything that you can ask for. I thought Barcelona were better than Real Madrid. And so Real Madrid are going to have to come up a whole lot, and Barcelona have to gonna drop down a whole lot in order for them to meet in the middle and make this thing competitive. I think it will be more competitive than last year. But I also do think that the signing of Rodri frees up the rest of the midfield for Barcelona to go and join in the attack. And the signing of Rodri for Barcelona makes as much a difference for Barcelona as it does having him not sign with Real Madrid, because there's still a hole in the midfield, a hole, that Toni Kroos hole that people were talking about all the last season, that's still there. That's still there. That hasn't disappeared. And so therefore, it feels as if Barcelona, still being the defending champions, I'm going to give them the nod.
So Barcelona first, Real Madrid second. Ali, thank you very much. I believe Shaq had Manchester United second after the Community Shield. They've now fallen to sixth in his predictions. I wonder what's happened over the last few days.
Don't know. Shaq?
Oh. As soon as you answer what you've been doing for the last 24 hours, I'll answer that question, Dan.
I tell you what, though. If you're a bar owner in Barcelona, you're not going to get rich with these two in town, are you? It's just not happening. You've got Shirley Temple on one side and...
We had a beautiful dinner, Dan.
Hey. Yes, Craig?
I'm not. I'll be honest. Listen, first day back. I've seen enough of you two. First day back. You can go now. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's just cut the camera and let's let them go.
Guys, thank you so much. You can see a lot more of Dan this
I didn't need
weekend.
that.
Espanyol against Real Madrid and Elche taking on Barcelona. They will be present at both of those games, and you can see them across the networks and 3 p.m. Eastern, including ABC.